Welcome to another small tutorial for Brender. I'm going to explain a few things that are not so clear, I think. So first of all, we're going to use the simple project again, and we can see the structure, intro, space, folder, and this one that we are going to use. But first I want to show when we use a new job, you can see that you have also this, for instance, the slash, and this one is going to show you the files that are the root. So it should be these two, another file and file at root. But now when we use render config demo, for instance, we actually only have one file, so that's the one that's going to show here. But if we have a different file structure, we could add manually the file name. So in this case it would be a hidden file and cs2 2. So I would add cs02/02/hidden file without .blend, and this will then overwrite this shot. So we would basically have in the project, simple project, scene 0 to 3 render config demo, and then this file. I'm going to see if it works. Let's start it automatically, and yes, everything is going in place. We can have a look at the file. It's just 3 cubes, and it should be not finished because it's a very slow machine, but we can see we already have it. Okay, another question that came out of the feedback was, what if instead of having the renders in, the scenes are here, but the renders are in these folders, and you can see if you have these many levels of folders, you can get quite deep in the renders. What if now you want to have them, for instance, just next to the blend file? For instance, here we have the hidden file blend, and we want the renders here. We can use the compositing. For instance, here we go compositing, and we have the normal composite node, but we can add another one called file output, and in this case we want to point it out to where our scenes are, the files, and we can even create a folder called renders here, and whatever name, and link it together, put like PNG, check that we use nodes, and everything is fine. So let's save and restart the job. So now that we restarted the job, we are going to see what happens here. You can see he saves actually 2 files, the normal one that goes like the render, but also the one that is in our new folder, and we should see it here coming. So you have your blend files and the folders. Another step that we can do is add multiple paths. For instance, here we have I already prepared the paths, the red cubes, or all the cubes, and the blue ones. So we just have to take these two, extract, and let's say we do the red ones. So instead of whatever name, we say red cubes, and here of course the blue cubes, blue ones, and this one we have to put back to all the cubes. We just save and restart, and hopefully we should see many files coming here from the renders. Yes, you can see we have the blue ones, the red ones, and the whatever file with all the 3 ones. Okay, one last thing that I would like to show you is the render configurations. Whenever you start a new job, you have seen that you have these config files. These are basically just Python files that are executed just before the rendering. So you can do a lot of things with these. I'm going to try to show a few of these. Let's first have a look how they look like. So as I said, just Python files, and you can write really whatever you want. In these samples that we included with the installation, we have set up manually different resolutions. In this case it's half HD, and added the stamp, these kind of things. You can of course also add your own scales or resolutions that you would like for each project or each tools that you have. Okay, let's just copy one and call it demo test. We can edit it, and let's change, for instance, something to something strange like 2200 resolution. So now whenever it's not going to refresh exactly right now. You first need to reload the page, and if I add a new job, by the way, I'm going to add these trees file, which is here. Since these trees, it's just two simple trees. We're going to see later we can make them high resolution. First we're going to always use 10 frames because it's just for a test, and now you can see that we have this demo test file. So let's just start this job, and in my opinion it should give something like the trees, but very wide. And let's wait a moment, see if everything's going fine. So yes, you can see the renders are quite long and large because this is our resolution that we set up. So what can we do else with these files? We can like erase all these things, and I'm going to show you another sample of something we can do. Is in our case here the two trees would be something like, I don't know, a very complicated scene with a forest. On layer 5 and 4 I have the two group objects, like this one is the tree low, and on number 5 I have the tree high. This is the high resolution one. And let's imagine that I have an entire forest, but of course as an animator I don't like to animate things when it's full of details and faces and you cannot even move the mouse. So in this case we can use the high and low switch case. So in the scripting I already made a script. It's a very straightforward thing. It takes all the objects and check if the duplicate group is 3 low and change by high. So I can, for instance, I can execute it. First I'm going to save it. I'm saving as simplified trees. So let's execute, and you can see it just changed the trees in high resolution. I'm just reloading the trees so that you can see the saved file is really the low resolution one. But whenever now I'm going to restart the job, it's going to put the high resolution trees. But first of all, I need to change again this script, is the demo test, to, I don't know, something more normal. Or we can, by the way, we can also just delete them. So it's not going to change the resolution, but use the one that we set in this file, which right now is something like half HD. Instead of having nothing to do for this one, we are just going to use this script. So I'm copying and pasting here. So whenever some of the clients need to render this file, it first is going to execute this script, which means changing the trees to high resolution, and then render. So just going to restart the job using the demo test, and hopefully it will render in a normal half HD resolution with the high-res trees. We can see here it's starting to take a bit more time. Well, before waiting the things, we can just go to the renders and see the trees are now in high resolution and changing. So that's what I wanted to show. It's just something, a simple example in this case, but I'm quite sure it can help in a lot of cases.